Good morning, children. Let us begin with Standard 5, English Grammar, Unit 13, Direct and Indirect Objects. We all know that a sentence has a subject, verb and object, and the object always comes after the verb. So let us read these sentences. The teacher gave Ashok a book. Second, the old man told my sister a story. Third, the king gave the soldier his sword. So when we see these sentences and put what and whom after each verb, you will get two different answers. For example, the first sentence, the teacher gave. Gave is your verb. Gave whom, so we get the answer Ashok. And gave what book. So from two questions when we ask the verb, we get answers. Same way for the second sentence, the old man told. Told is your verb. Told whom? Sister. Told what? A story. The third sentence, the king gave. Gave is your verb. Gave whom? Soldier. Gave what? Sword. So therefore, these sentences have two different objects. So we call one of these two objects the direct and indirect object. One is called the direct object, one is called, the other is called the indirect object. When we ask the questions what or whom, we get two types of objects, which we say it is a direct or an indirect. So if you can put to before the noun, that noun is the indirect object and the other noun is the direct object. So again, these sentences are written in a different manner. The first one, the teacher gave a book to Ashok. The second, the old man told a story to my sister. The king gave his sword to the soldier. So the position of Ashok and book is changed and we've written to before that noun. Therefore, Ashok is the indirect object and the book is the direct object. So this means that when we ask the question what and we get any answer, then we say that that answer is the direct object. And when we ask the question whom and we get any answer, we say that that answer is an indirect object. So for the second sentence, sister is the indirect object and story will be the direct object. And the third one, soldier is the indirect object and sword is the direct object. Now when you see the table, you will see that the subject is given and the predicate. If you divide a sentence into two, we have subject and predicate. So then the sentence can be divided into three, like subject, verb and object. And objects we have of two types, that is indirect and direct. First sentence, the teacher gave. Gave is your verb. Gave whom? Ashok. So Ashok is your indirect object. Gave what? A book. So a book will be your direct object. In the second sentence, the old man told. Told is your verb. Told whom? My sister. Told what? A story. So my sister will be indirect object and a story will be a direct object. The third one, the king gave whom? The soldier. So the soldier will be your indirect object and gave what? The sword. So that will be your direct object. So remember, when we need to find out a direct object and indirect object in your sentence, first we find the verb and ask these two questions, what and whom. If you get an answer by asking what to the verb, that will be your direct object. And when you ask the question whom to the verb and you get the answer, that will be your indirect object. Let us start with exercise 1. we need to pick out the direct and indirect objects in this sentence and write them down in the right heading. So, your first one is the indirect object and the second is a direct object. So, for indirect, we need to ask the question whom, and for the direct, we need to ask the question what. To whom will be asked? To the verb. So, let's begin. The first one. The man offered the child a piece of bread. So your verb is offered. And you ask the question whom, so you get the word child. So child will be your indirect. Offered what? Bread. So bread will be your direct object. The second one, the old woman told my sister a story. So told is your verb. Told whom? Sister. So sister will be your indirect. Told what? Story. So story will be your direct object. The third one, the headmaster promised the boys a holiday. So promised is your verb. Promised whom? Boys. So boys is indirect, and promised what? Holiday. So that will be your direct object. Your fourth one, did the woman give the dog any food? So here your verb is give, correct. So now we ask the question gave whom? So dog. Dog will be indirect, and gave what? Food. So that will be your direct. The fifth one, the doctor gave the patient some medicines. So your verb is give. Gave whom? Patient. So patient will be indirect, and gave what? Medicine. So that will be your direct object. The sixth one, how have those pupils given their teacher any trouble? So here your verb is have given. So have given whom? Teacher. So teacher will be your indirect object. And have given what? Trouble. So trouble will be your direct object. The seventh one, the women offered their husbands no food. So offered is your verb. Offered whom? Husbands. So husbands will be indirect, and offered what? Food. Food will become direct object. The eighth one, the king gave the soldiers a rich reward. So again gave is your verb. Gave whom? Soldiers. Soldiers will be indirect. Gave what? A reward. So reward will be your direct object. Ninth, did the man offer the woman any money? So offer is your verb. Offer whom? Woman. Woman is your indirect, and offer what? Money. So money will be your direct object. And the 10th one, the teacher gave the class a lot of homework. Gave is your verb, correct? So gave whom? Class. So class is indirect, and gave what? Homework. So homework will be your direct object. So remember children, so whenever you ask the question what, you get your direct object, and when you ask the question whom, you get the indirect object. And in your exam, keep in mind that first is, in your exercise, it is written indirect object first and direct second. But sometimes it can be mentioned the direct first and indirect second. So accordingly, you have to write the objects. Don't just learn by heart. Understand and write which is the direct and which is the indirect in your exercise. Now exercise 2. Now rewrite each of the above sentences using to before one of the nouns. So begin like this. One example is given to us. Now we need to put to in the sentence formation and change the sentence. First was given the indirect object and then the direct. Now we put the direct object first and the indirect second by adding a to before that noun. So the first one is the man offered a piece of bread to the child. So here offered is your verb. Offered what? Bread. offered whom child. So your direct object comes first and your indirect object comes second when you add to in your sentence. The second one, the old woman told a story to my sister. So told what story? Told whom? My sister. So my sister will be indirect and story will be direct. Third one, the headmaster promised a holiday to the boys. Fourth, did the woman give any food to the dog? Fifth, the doctor gave some medicine to the patient. Sixth, have those pupils given any trouble to their teacher? Seventh, the woman offered no food to their husbands. So by adding to, we are taking the direct object first and we are writing the indirect object after to. The eighth sentence, the king gave a reward to the soldiers. Ninth, did the man offer any money to the woman? And the 10th one, the teacher gave a lot of homework to the class. So here we changed, we took the direct object first and indirect the second. So dear children, I hope you have understood this chapter of direct and indirect object. So the homework for this part is that you need to write these two exercises very neatly in your English grammar notebook. So thank you and have a very nice day.